It's been a long 6.5 years, for some people longer than that, but today you'll be able to see what I think are the spectacular results of all of the work that we've been doing here on the building, reorganizing the building itself, and on the collections itself. We decided that we needed to get back to the original human purpose of the works of art. And so as you go through the galleries now, to cut a long story short, you will see that the works of art are presented through themes that relate these works of art to shared human experiences. Basic, when you boil it down, very basic things like getting dressed, drinking, eating, worshipping, things that every individual brings with them to the work of art. One of the great things about art and changes in art is that the way it evolves, it's always a simultaneous reaction against what went before and a continuation of what went before. And that is really, it's a great pleasure to me to see that we're doing that here at the DIA. When the DIA opened in 1927, it was the first American museum to present art in a way that William Valentina, being German, that as you went through the galleries, you went on a walk through time, a walk through civilization, a walk through culture as you went around the galleries. Prior to 1927, art in American museums had followed the French way of exhibiting art, which is pictures in one gallery, sculpture in another, tapestries in another, decorative arts in another. So everything was divided up sort of taxonomically, how it could be defined in its physical sense. And in breaking with that, Valentina set the stage for what was going to become an increasingly common way of exhibiting work in the United States of America. I'd sort of like to joke that American museums followed French museums so much that because the Louvre closed on Mondays, American museums, most of us, closed on Mondays. But what Valentina did in 1927 was so revolutionary that in the 1929 edition of Encyclopedia Britannica, the footprint of what was then the brand new DIA building is reproduced as what an ideal art museum should look like. And although we're breaking with with decades of practice in a way where Valentina implicitly contextualized things, we now are explicitly contextualizing things. In what we're doing here, we are both leading. We're making we're ahead of the pack. But I know from my discussions with my fellow directors at symposia in various parts of Europe and around the world, this is a global debate that just as we've been rethinking how our collection needs to be delivered to our general public, so Henri Loiret, the director of the Louvre, is considering the same thing, and Neil McGregor, the director of the British Museum, is also thinking these things. I was at a symposium with both of them where they were lamenting the fact that they had all the problems that came with being a tourist museum, and how do they relate to their local public. We don't have the problem of being a tourist museum, but it has been one of the factors that has been enabled us to be, I think, as bold as we are. All of this would not be possible without the generosity and contributions of individuals, corporations and foundations around this region and beyond. The reinstallation is a small part of a huge capital endowment and operating campaign that we've been running since 1999.